I'm Kate from the Small Things blog. Today I'm going to give you advice on how to have a killer consultation with your stylist. So I'm going to talk about these details as if you've been to the stylist before. So if you're looking for a video on how to find a new stylist, that'll be something separate. If you are happy with your stylist and just want to maximize your time talking about what you're going to do at the appointment, this video is for you. The first and most important thing is being on time to your appointment. Unfortunately, the first thing that gets cut when you're running late tends to be the consultation, because sometimes that can be optional if you've been doing the same thing for a while. But if you're wanting to try something new, having an idea of what you want to do before you walk in the door would be helpful, and then therefore being there on time or even a few minutes early in case he or she finishes up early. That just gives you more time to talk about it and make sure you're on the right page. So like I said, having an idea of what you want is kind of important. Even if you want to leave the creativity up to the stylist, knowing whether or not you want a change or you'd rather just have a trim, or if you want like 1/8 of an inch off but you want a complete makeover and want it to look totally new, having at least a rough idea of what you're interested in will at least get the stylist like a beginning playing ground, and then he or she can go from there of what you're going to actually do that day. Talking about what you did and did not like from the previous haircut can be very helpful. So if you got bangs at the last appointment and then you ended up not liking them as much, communicate that with your stylist. Otherwise, he or she might automatically default and trim those bangs up again when you've already decided to grow them out. So going through what you liked about the last cut or color or what you didn't like will help them kind of reassess and then make changes for this current appointment. Having at least a little bit of an idea of what he or she is talking about will help you feel more confident when you're making decisions. So know a little bit about color, and not the formulations or the chemistry or anything behind it, but maybe the maintenance level. You know, that demi-permanent is not going to be quite as permanent as permanent hair color, or that highlights are typically, not across the board, but typically done with lightener, which is another word for bleach. So if you're aware of all of these things, you can have a more informed conversation. Just like if you're car shopping, I mean, I don't know if stylists would appreciate this analogy, but you're gonna look online at what the car has to offer and things that people don't like about it, or anyway, you're gonna do all this research about what the car has and whether or not you're looking for that. So in the same way, know a little bit about what's going on when you're sitting in the chair. Not a ton because it's not your job, but at least so you can make an informed decision, that would be helpful. Having an idea of your face shape, or maybe a little bit of knowledge about your texture or how your hair reacts to heat and that sort of thing, will also be helpful when you're trying a new cut or just having a talk with your stylist about what works or what doesn't work for you. So there's a really easy way to figure out your face shape. I'll do a blog post about it because it might be helpful to see a step-by-step, but if you look straight in the mirror and then just draw with either makeup or a dry erase marker, something that can be erased, draw the shape that you see and then step away and look at what's left. That's a pretty clear answer of what your face shape is. A lot of times if you just analyze, you know, oval is the ideal face shape. A lot of people think they see oval when in fact they might be heart-shaped or square or anything like that. So figuring out your face shape and then knowing a little bit about your texture. You know, does it respond pretty well to a curling iron? Does it dry quickly? Does it tend to be distressed? Sort of note these things about how your hair acts in different conditions, so then you can decide, you know, if excessive layering would be helpful or really unhelpful. So all of these things are going to help you have a better idea of what is actually going to work for you. In my opinion, bringing a photo to an appointment is not a bad thing. There are some stylists that I've heard that get offended by that or whatever. I don't really get that, but at least what I like about it is if a client brings in a photo of what they like, I know exactly what they like visually. We don't have to try and decide whether they want sunshiny honey blonde or icy white blonde. I can just look at the picture, they like it, I understand what they like, and then we're on the same page. So as long as you're realistic about maybe your hair not being exactly like a celebrity or a model or whatever, and picking out, you know, aspects of that cut or color that you like that can work for your texture, your lifestyle, or whatever you're willing to do, I think it's a great idea to bring a picture. So like I said, even if there's a brunette, but her bangs are exactly the way you want them to be, and you're a redhead, bring it in and show the stylist the bangs. And obviously, if you don't want to do the color, you don't have to, but at least the stylist can have an idea of what is visually pleasing to you, what you notice in cuts, and then therefore can do that on you so you can enjoy your haircut. Lastly, I think it's really important to also let the stylist tell you yes or no. Hopefully, my hope is that your stylist is able to say no. I hear more than ever, and I don't know if it's just where I do hair, but that people are afraid to say no to clients, and then they leave with this disaster because they thought they wanted it, when in fact it really isn't good for them. So let your stylist ask for their input and their professional opinion based on their job and the fact that they've studied this in school. And I think if you respect that, they will respect you as well and want you to be happy with what they do. So respect their creativity and let them do their job well. That's about it. Those are my top tips for having a great consultation with your stylist. I wish you many great consultations and then therefore great hair services following from that. If you have any more questions or if I completely missed something, you can comment on the YouTube channel. You can also comment on the blog post where this video will be embedded. I really would love to help you all communicate with your stylist as best you can, so please feel free to leave any questions.